I begin by honoring everything about you. And what I ask is, as of this moment forward, nothing in your life is insulted by being referred to as a story. Everything in your life has value, and every single thing is an important milestone in the most miraculous journey that the divine has ever concocted, just for the joy of dancing as you inform. An infinite reality, which is you, thought, I'd like to incarnate and experience my infinite potential, but in a way I've never done it before. And what is it that exhausted and satisfied the imagination of an infinite source of intelligence? It sat and imagined, who can I be that I've never become? And you are who satisfied its craving for life. All life wants to be is you. And so it is my honor to provide you the invitation to come alive and to live as the divine already does in you. As I say, and as I've said before, the litmus test of spiritual insight is what we would say to a child in pain. And if you wouldn't say it to a child in pain, please don't say it to yourself. If a child were in pain, just wanting to be held while it is in pain, you wouldn't say, drop your story, honey. Don't you think that's just a story? If you wouldn't say it to a child and you laugh because you wouldn't do that, don't say it to yourself. Treat yourself like a child in a positive way. If a child was really bummed out because someone took the tricycle that it wanted at school, you wouldn't say to the child, you know, honey, you should really let that go. It's not going to go over well, is it? So if that's not going to go over well with the child, what are the odds it's going to work for you? Instead, I want to give you a revolutionary approach. And it's a simple approach. Everything is here to help you. And do you know why we don't perceive things that everything is here to help us? Because we don't know that everything is here to help us. And the reason we don't is because we grow up in a conditioned level of consciousness that says things don't help me if they are inconvenient or unexpected. But see, that's how we grow and evolve, is by encountering inconvenience and unexpected things. How else is the universe going to whirl cellular memories out of your body than by having someone knock into you in a store? Take too long pulling out of a parking spot. Everything is here to help you. And in taking in this insight, everything is here to help you. Because again, you can contemplate with your consciousness in endless directions. And you can ask a question till the end of time, but if your question or if your point of view is heading you in a direction of fear or circumstance, you're going to go off in an endless inquiry that's not going to amount to anything. In a heart-centered spiritual path, what is the greatest contemplation? The greatest contemplation is framing a question that guarantees success. A question that guarantees success is rooted in faith. So what would that be? The question is, whatever arises, the question you ask yourself is, how is this helping me? That's a good question. How is this helping me evolve and be better than I've ever been? Oh, but this is just making me frustrated. Well, maybe this is how frustrated is healed. Maybe how I heal frustration is just by whirling out of my nervous system by encountering it many, many times. Oh, but I was taught that I'm not supposed to be frustrated, I'm supposed to transcend that. Well, that's a misunderstanding. Because if the point is to not be frustrated, it's obvious this world didn't get that memo, right? One of the healthiest things you'll do is look around the world and go, I don't know if it's against the rules to be frustrated. Because I look around the world and it seems like there are a lot of people who have that right. You know who don't have the right to be frustrated? Spiritual beings. I thought we signed up to be liberated. But we don't have as many rights as most people. Oh no, I can't do that. I can't be frustrated. No, I have to shut down and hurt myself emotionally. No, I can't be frustrated. Why not? Why not? Why can't you be frustrated? You know why I don't get frustrated? Because I have every right to be. And it just doesn't arise. I'm not trying not to be frustrated. I'm not sitting here going, oh, I almost got frustrated. Good thing I'm so talented. Ooh, they almost got me with that frustration. Nope, not me. No, I'm a champion. Saw it coming, quickly got onto it, ignored myself for a few minutes, went away. I'm so clever. If you want to understand the real expression of spiritual liberation, you must have the rights that everyone else in the world has. You have a right to be frustrated. You have a right to be angry. You have a right to be sad. You have a right to be confused. But a lot of times in the spiritual path, we're not giving ourselves the chance to have these experiences. We're trying to see them as symptoms of what we have to solve, right? They're symptoms we have to clear, apparently. But if you're trying to clear these things out of your life, how are you going to contemplate whether or not something's here to help you? Everything is here to help you. Frustration is here to help you. What does frustration teach you? Frustration teaches you that when you're frustrated, you're not giving yourself as many options as are available to you. That's what frustration means. Oh, my frustration is reminding me that I'm not giving myself as many options as are available. So there are many more options available. They're probably going to be really inconvenient to my ego. But nonetheless, if I gave myself more inconvenient options, I wouldn't be frustrated because I'd have more things to choose from. And then frustration goes away because as an agent of the divine, it goes, oh, you are aware of the insight I sent you. Everything's here to help you. How can everything not be here to help you? You think the divine sent you down in this multidimensional Pac-Man machine for things to chase you around? I mean, where the hell do we think we are? Are we in some sort of Scooby-Doo funhouse? The divine brought you to be in form as a gift, and oh, there are things going to chase you around. Where do we think we are? This is a gift. Everything's here to help you evolve. And if you step into every moment and say, look, I may not like how I feel, but everything's here to help me. Do you know what you cultivate inside of your being? Faith. Faith. Faith is the natural state of the universe. The mantra of the universe that depicts faith is everything works out. Everything always works out. That's the mantra. Everything always works out. But we as intuitive beings know it's going to work out, but we don't know how it's going to work out because that's what we came to live out. And we are wanting resolution that happens at a future chapter during a chapter it's not meant to arrive. And then we pretend that that means it might not work out, so we have to run around and try to figure it out, even though everything always works out. Do you see? Matt, what am I going to do right now? Well, it's going to work out. But how? You want the best answer? In spite of all of us. In spite of all of us, it's going to work out. And it's not without your choice and permission and participation, but it does not require the exhaustion of your personal volition. So you're participating in this, but you don't have to try so hard. Because you're coming from a place of, I don't think it's going to work out. And I'm not even saying if you come from a place like it's not going to work out, then that's going to cause it to not work out. Like, that's not how the universe works. Like, you didn't think it's going to work out, so, oh well. You entered a parallel dimension and everything was just crappy. Because you didn't believe. Here's the thing. Your highest destiny is going to unfold whether you believe it or not. You could deny your highest destiny every breath until the end of time, and you're still going to get all of the treats that are coming for you. You're just going to have the worst experience of it. Like, literally, your doorbell will ring one day, and there will be $1 billion check handed to you by the baby Jesus. And even then, you'd be like, I don't know if I could trust this. It's going to work out. Right, well, again, it's one thing to get $1 million check, but from the baby Jesus, right? Right? That's impressive. Wow, the baby Jesus. Wow. Baby Jesus giving me $1 billion check. Generous already, that baby Jesus. Wow. Wow. So giving. It's all going to work out. Your relationships are going to work out, whether that means you go into a new one and find harmony, or you grow with the person you're with and find equanimity. Your emotional healing, the ascension or awakening of your energetic field, is going to work out. Your path of realization is going to work out. Your highest destiny is going to work out. Everything is going to work out. It's just not going to work out at the moment you want it to. Why? Because if it all worked out the way you wanted to, you wouldn't become aware of this life is a video game that is here to teach you how to cultivate faith. And you're being put in a situation where it looks like things won't work out, just for you to dare to choose to believe that it will work out, and welcome to the thrill ride of the universe. It's a roller coaster called everything always works out. Through the eyes of the universe, every single thing that happens in your life is how it was all meant to work out. So when your life is flipped upside down, someone goes, what's going on with your life? This is how it's working out. This is what my life looks like being worked out. It's certainly, I mean, if you're going to renovate a house, and you tell your friend, I'm going to have this amazing fireplace and this master suite, and you tell your friend about this house, and they comes to your home, and he just sees like a construction crew. I thought you told me about your beautiful, lavish house. Yes, this is what it looks like working out. We're still in the before phase of the renovation. We will soon be in the after. On TV, it takes a half hour, but in real life, it's like 6 months of torture. Right? So in the same way, you are living through your spiritual renovation. And how your life is right now is how it's working out. It's becoming the best case scenario, but you have not been trained to open up to that view, because you've told yourself, until I see the best case scenario, I'm just going to assume that it's the worst case scenario. I don't know why things are the way they are, so I'm just going to blame myself for why it is the way only I judge it to be, and then I'm going to put myself under a microscope, and I'm going to try to improve myself and think that that's going to make things change. That sound familiar? It's like, let's say you have from now until 5 months from now before everything totally becomes amazing, and you are free to do whatever you want with your time. And you say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself under a microscope. And I'm going to say that the flaws that I judge, that I see, are the reasons why things aren't working out right now. And then I'm going to try to perfect and purify those things. And I'm not going to stop until it works out. And then when it does work out, I'm going to tell myself that everything I've done was the reason why it now has worked out. So through the eyes of faith, you can spend from now until whenever it works out doing whatever the hell you want to do. And if you think working on yourself is going to make any damn bit of difference, the only thing that's going to make a difference is if instead of working on yourself, you love yourself. Because then you start to enjoy the feeling of life working out before it has to physically show you how it's going to work out. Does that make sense? So faith is, I'm going to enjoy the party before the party begins. That's what this is all about. I'm going to walk around my scaffolding and enjoy my lavish house before it actually gets built. Everything always works out. Always. And when you don't know how it's going to work out, that means it's better than bigger than you can ever imagine. Things are only torn down in your life to build something bigger. Ever seen that in life? You go drive through your neighborhood or whatever. Oh, your favorite restaurant's no longer in business because a better one's coming. Hopefully. Hopefully. Sometimes, oh my God, my favorite restaurant is out of business. What's going to be next? Starbucks. Everything always works out. The natural state of the universe is faith, and the mantra of faith is everything always works out. And when you're not sure, the question becomes, how is everything here to help me? How is this here to help me? And again, in a heart-centered journey, what we understand is what you're feeling emotionally are the cellular memories being released out of your field. What you're feeling, you're healing. And this idea, like, I can't feel negative emotions because then I'm going to manifest more atrocity. It's just not true. But you're free to tell yourself that for as much time as you have before life shows you how it's going to work out. I mean, here's what's funny about children. Children walk around thinking there's monsters under their bed and can sit in their room, like you could, take away a toy from a child and it will sit in his room and plot against you for a long time and get twisted up in a negative, contracted state for a lengthy period of time, right? Just the child goes in the room and just sits there and silently hates you, right? No child who has dedicated a portion of their life to pure, unadulterated hatred, or who has believed there's a monster in their closet to the point where they create sweating in their body and their heart is palpitating. We have never had monsters jumping out of closets. We've never had a monster epidemic in suburban America. You have never, a child goes to the room and is just in that hateful state. I hate you, took my toy away, and then the house bursts into flames. Kids are allowed to feel whatever they want, but we're not. Why not? Here's a funny thing, as you are stepping into the joy of life always works out, if you have permission to feel any which way and think any which way about anyone or anything, do you want to know what never shows up? The very thing you don't want to feel or think about. When you have the right to think and feel any which way about anyone and not even apologize, first of all, you could have the loudest thought in your mind and no one next to you plugs their ears. That means only you are hearing you. And then once you say the thing you're embarrassed about, then you like apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Who are you talking to? You're allowed. You're allowed to be frustrated. You don't have to apologize for anything. When in here you can do anything, it doesn't come out here. It only jumps out here when it's not allowed in here because energy goes, well, I can't be here. I'm against the rules, so I'm going to jump out of that hole. It's got to go somewhere. I'm just going to leap out. I'm being exiled from here. I'm clearly inappropriate, so I'm just going to leap out of here. So if you don't want to act in that kind of a way externally, it has to be okay internally. Because what's arising inside of you is just energy working itself out. It's not what you believe. It's not what you think. You're not manufacturing it. You are healing and holding a space for the resolution of everything that arises. And you're watching things internally work out, while externally everything's going to work out perfectly. And spiritual alignment, which is the journey of cultivating faith, which occurs by loving ourselves more, not less, is the ability to arrive in alignment with faith way before all of your cash and prizes are given to you. I mean, you can open up your front door every day and go, no baby Jesus, no $1 billion check. This day is doomed. Or you can just rest in the greatest thrill ride in existence and say, everything's always working out. Everything's working out. Everything's working out perfectly. This is the deconstruction before something new resurrects. And when you are rooted in faith, do you want to know what the most important thing in every moment becomes in your spiritual journey? It's one of the most delicious words that I love. And it's a word when not used to judge yourself, but just used from a heart-centered position can be one of the most important words in existence. Conduct. When you're rooted in faith, what is more important is how are you conducting yourself with yourself and others? And not from a judgmental stance of, oh, look at what I did with that person, and let me put myself under the microscope and all that stuff. Conduct says I can think and feel and do anything I want. But conduct is I have the freedom to be any way I wish, and yet I choose to align all of my behavior as a living expression of my highest wisdom. Why? Because it feels the best in my body, and what feels the best to me has got to be a gift of transformation for others. Conduct. When you're rooted in faith, your conduct becomes immaculate, not with effort, just naturally. So instead of trying to force your conduct only to be rooted in fear, let's step into faith and let your immaculate conduct be revealed. When you're not rooted in faith, do you know what you're hypnotized by? The conduct of others. When you are rooted in faith, other people's conduct don't matter. Other people, if you're rooted in enough faith, other people's conduct doesn't even affect you, because their conduct is a reflection of where they are in their alignment, and your conduct is an expression of where you are in yours. And you become so aware that people's ill-fated conduct or unconscious behavior is just letting you know how deep they're hurting, even on a level they're not aware of. It couldn't be about you if you tried to make it. Spiritual realization doesn't make it not about you. Faith makes that the way. So trying to realize your true nature is not going to make you immune to other people. Faith does that. And the way faith makes you immortal and immune to the behavior of others is by letting people affect you. And when people affect you, the question becomes, how is this helping me? And it's helping me because when I'm affected by people, it shows me the part of myself emotionally, the part of my body where I feel the effect, that is next in line to be loved as never before. So people hurt us to show us where to love ourselves more. It can be a harsh road sometimes, but when it's time to love yourself, someone will jump out of the bushes and trigger something in you, and life says, send some love there. But if you're rooted in fear, your focus isn't on loving yourself. Oh, wow, that rude person just showed me where to love myself. Thank you very much. Wow, that was really unexpected. Holy crap, I didn't know they were in the bushes. Wow. How did they jump out so quickly and not cut themselves up? That was amazing. They're like a ninja. That's amazing. When you're in fear, you're not focused on your conduct of loving yourself more, not less. You're focused on the injustice of other people's behavior. Why are they being this way to me? How come they're treating me this way? Don't they know who I am? No, they don't. Newsflash, no one knows who you are. No one knows who you are at all. Other people don't even really know who they are. Only you know who you are. And no one knows that you but you. Which is why there's the frustration of like, I'm being misperceived by others. Everyone misperceives you. No one sees you but you. You want the greatest conversations, interactions with people? No one's going to see you the way you do. No one's going to get it right. The minute someone thinks they know what's true about you, they're in fantasy land. You only know what's true about you. They only know what's true about them. And we come together in these interactions of unity consciousness to go, hey, your truth, my truth, let's share some notes and see what life is like in different dimensions. Because we're all, physical human bodies are manifestations of dimensions. We're all different dimensions. So we're all these roving reporters reporting from different parallel dimensions. And everything you say is what's going on in your world. We're all sharing the same space, but we're all in our own worlds. No one's in your world but you. Right? How come they don't see me? Because only you are in your world. But I want them to see me. Oh, they can't. They don't even see them. They can't see you. Only you see you. Here's how strange. And it's funny how I can help you find relief in really strange ways. Isn't it strangely relieving to go, no one will ever see or get me? Ever. Doesn't that just kind of like, we're all just reporting from our dimensions. What's going on? And the only truth is what you know about yourself. The minute you think you could look around the world and go, let me tell you what's true about the world. You're hallucinating. You're hallucinating. Because all of this projectional reality out here is just assisting you in bringing up what needs to be loved in yourself as you live out how perfectly everything works out. So the only thing you know is yourself. All you know is that everyone's going through a transformation. Most people don't even know it. And the sign that a soul is telling you, hey, look, I don't even know how deep my healing journey is. I need some more space to process this. The sign that people need space, so not to use you as a distraction from their journey, is they push you away. They're mean. Meanness says, healing in progress. Please come back later when I'm normal. How do you know someone's healing? Meanness shows up. Oh, I should give them space. Pardon me, I didn't know you were healing. I did not know. I'll come back later. You seem to have a lot on your plate. As per the meanness. As per the venom and judgment and scrunched face. I'll come back later. Love and light. Gotta throw that in there, right? Love and light. By the way, you ever had this happen? You ever have someone send you like this passive-aggressive, negative, judgmental message, then end it with a love and a light? You ever had that? Isn't that the best? Here's my problem with you. Here's what I need you to do to change, so to keep me thinking nice things about you. And if you don't, I'm going to hold you emotionally hostage. A love and light. It's a little psycho. It's a little mafia, you know?